Merry Christmas and welcome to PowerDrift. The Scrambler 400X is finally going up against the all-new Himalayan. At the end of it all, I'm going to answer two very important questions. Number one, should you really be comparing these two? And number two, if you are, which one's better? Are you ready? Let's go.
The Himalayan is an adventure tourer and the Scrambler is a scrambler. They're two different styles. The Himalayan is a big boy though, tall from that front just like an adventure tourer with a nice beak and a round lamp. The Scrambler also gets a round lamp but doesn't look as tall or as big as the Himi. There's a smaller wheel at the front too which adds to the smaller appearance, but overall very different.
In the quality department, it's a straight win for the Triumph. Not saying that the Himalayan is bad in any way, shape or form, but this is 2 or maybe 3 steps ahead. The quality of paint, parts, welds, switch gear, it's a really premium experience, a job very well done. Royal Enfield as a brand got better over time and I saw those changes come into effect starting with the Super Meteor 650. But this is just too good.
I'm about to seize the day, yeah. I'm about to have it my way, yeah.
Royal Enfield took time to work on their new engine, their new platform, the Sherpa, and it shows. This 452cc motor addresses the one big problem that the 411 had, and that was highway performance. Sure, the torque is still there, but the lack of a top end made the 411 a struggling motorcycle. Not anymore. This motorcycle can sustain 120 km per hour easily, but at those speeds you'll also feel vibrations and you'll feel that on the handlebar as well as the tank, not so much on the pegs. I'm not too fond of that honestly. But this motor is a good mix of bottom end as well as top end performance and I quite like it. The sweet spot for me lies anywhere between 90 and 100 km per hour, and that's where the Himalayan for me feels the absolute best. The Scrambler 400X on the other hand is a motorcycle that I really enjoy. It feels refined till 80 km per hour, post which there's a slight buzz on the pegs. Now to counter this buzz, Triumph decided to add additional rubber, but that slight buzz is still there. But don't worry, trust me, it's not a bother, it's not a problem at all. For me, the Scrambler is a motorcycle that shines in the city. It's such an easy motorcycle to ride. It's not manic, not too crazy powerful like the 390 Duke. It's performance that is accessible, it is performance that is friendly, and if you're looking at this as your very first bike, it is going to be a good choice. One of the questions that popped up quite frequently for the Scrambler 400X, can it tour? My answer to that is, any motorcycle can tour, but this is not an adventure tourer, it is a scrambler. So the lack of a windshield is going to tire you out fairly quickly. But to finish things off, neither of these motorcycles have heating issues. Yes, the fan will come on, you will hear it quite often, but no heating problem at all.
The Himalayan is a clear winner when it comes to ride quality, no doubts at all. The suspension feels premium and built for the job. Works well when you want it to, and the Scrambler doesn't even come close in this department. Not only will this setup work well on the road, but it works brilliantly off-road as well. The Scrambler also works well, but not this well. Feels just about okay for the city, slightly better on the highway, but it doesn't feel as well damped as the Himi. In the city, the rear feels like it's working all the time and never settles. The Himalayan feels settled everywhere and it's a job well done. Both these motorcycles only get preload adjustability at the rear with their current setups, and it's okay for someone who is looking at these options as their very first motorcycle in the garage.
right off the bat, I can tell you that both these motorcycles are tall motorcycles. Unless you opt for the low seat option for the Himalayan, which shuffles between 805 and 825, the stock seat height for both the motorcycles will feel tall for most riders. The Himalayan is an adventure tourer, so comfort as an aspect comes very naturally to it, not just in terms of ergonomics but also seating comfort. It's very well padded and it's also very spacious, so in case you get tired on a long tour, you can always scoot around. Look how much space I have. It's amazing. But the Scrambler isn't too far behind. This is also a comfortable motorcycle, but I get a sense of it being sporty because of how the pegs are placed. They're slightly more rear set than the Himalayan, and I personally feel it is a little more engaging to ride. Now, we have not got a chance to test pillion comfort, but just by looking at these motorcycles side by side, I would like to believe that the Himalayan is going to be a better motorcycle overall, not just in terms of rider comfort but also for the pillion.
On mountains high, all the way down valleys low, I'll never be
19-inch front for the Scrambler, 21-inch front for the Himi. There's a natural feeling of a good handling motorcycle with the Scrambler. It's not just the front wheel size, to be honest, it's the weight too. But more importantly, where the weight is. The Scrambler package is a lot more compact, centralized, and the motorcycle behaves really well, not just in the city, but around those mountain corners too. It's way too much fun. Royal Enfield moved around the fuel tank and managed to get the weight a little low, but 196 kilos is still heavier than 185. Also, the wheelbase is almost 100 mm more than the Scrambler. That's a lot, and it definitely affects handling in some way. Thankfully, it doesn't affect it to a point where it feels sluggish or slow. As an individual motorcycle, it's not too bad, but when you pit it against the Triumph, the Scrambler feels more engaging. To finish things off, neither of these tires felt great. The MRF's slightly better, but I'm not too happy with the Siats on the Himi.
Scrambler 400X is a simple motorcycle. It's also built to a cost, so for a lack of better words, in some ways it's also featureless. Yes, it does get switchable traction control and switchable ABS, but it does miss out on a fancy display. There are no riding modes and there's no Bluetooth connectivity. But on the other hand, the Himalayan, the all-new Himalayan, offers riding modes, switchable ABS, Bluetooth connectivity, a fancy display, and of course, full Google Maps, which is a highlight of the motorcycle, and I think that is very, very impressive. But it does miss out on traction control, which I think would have been great, and it also misses out on cruise control. An adventure tourer having cruise control sounds good, right? The addition of ride-by-wire opens up that possibility, but it's not happening today.
Race quit. Moses, I've been looking forward to this. Had to pull low reliable at the drawer for this. Don't think it's over, I got more.
I'm gonna keep this very simple. Himalayan off-road, thumbs up. Scrambler soft-road, thumbs up. 21-inch front off-road, thumbs up. 19-inch front soft-road, thumbs up. Spoke trims off-road, thumbs up. Alloys soft-road, thumbs up. More suspension travel, less suspension travel. I hope you know what I'm getting to with this comparison. The Scrambler is not meant for hardcore off-road use. It's a soft-roader, it can do fast soft-roading, but that's that. The Himalayan is an adventure tourer that does off-roading really well if you're okay with the weight as well as the seat height. But these motorcycles have one downside. The alloys might crack if you decide to go and be a little adventurous with the Scrambler, and the lack of tubeless spokes with the Himalayan for the Indian market is a deal breaker for me. But I hope that answers the question of soft-roading, off-roading and where these motorcycles are at. The Scrambler and the Himalayan both offer exceptional value for money. The real comparison would have been a Tiger 400 going up against the Himalayan and a Scram 450 going up against the Scrambler 400X. But here we are answering what you guys have been asking. At the start of this video, I spoke of two important questions. One, should you really be comparing the two motorcycles? I think no, because they are two different motorcycles in two different spaces offering two different ride experiences. And this thing popped up only because they sort of fall in the same price category, and it's a fair ask. Mind you, the Himalayan was introduced at a price point of 2.69 lakh, but that price is going to go up now. The second question, which one's a better motorcycle? Personally for me, I prefer the Scrambler 400X. It's light, fun, manageable and versatile. But if adventure touring is a primary thing that you like doing, then go for the Himalayan. But for everything else, I personally feel the Scrambler 400X makes so much more sense. Having said that, please take a test spin and then decide for yourself.
Just say congratulations. You knew this day was imminent. I know I made you wanna rage quit. I've been going.
If you like this video, please hit the like button. Let me know which motorcycle do you prefer, the Himi or the Scrambler. I'll see you in the comments. My name is Varun Painter and I will see you later. Okay, honorable mentions. Gearboxes on both these motorcycles are smooth. Clutch on both these motorcycles really smooth. The headlamp, something that we don't talk of often in our videos. The headlamp is a lot better on the Himalayan, and this grille that comes standard with the Scrambler 400X casts a shadow every time you switch the lights on, so this doesn't make sense. Remove it when you get the Scrambler.